Well, new data shows that young men have surpassed young women, saying that religion is, quote, very important to have in their lives. So what is driving this gender gap?
Damn, this the percentage? 40 that makes sense, though, because I do see more men preaching the gospel than women. Like, I'm starting to see more women more now, like, more often. But, like, most men, I ain't gonna lie, like, it's good to have a religious, like, foundation. I'm not saying that you got to be too deep in with religion, because some people kind of, like, lose their mind when they get too tapped in, you know what I'm saying? So it's good to have a foundation, like, you know, like, live how God wants you to live, you know what I'm saying? But, like, don't get too deep in with the religion shit, because it kind of change your whole perspective on life, and you start looking at other religions like in a bad way. Like, I'm not here to shame religions. I know I had my times where I spoke on other religions and I felt like Christianity is like the most important, because it kind of like fall into the lane that I want to pursue, you know what I'm saying? Because I never fully tapped into every other religion, but from what I heard from other religions, like, they don't really meet the standards that I traditionally want to live, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the other religions, because they do got a lot of teachings in other religions that, you know, kind of like fit what I like to go for, in a sense. But Christianity kind of always had like a more valuable system to me, like, you know what I'm saying?
Christian influencer Bryce Crawford has more than 3 million followers on Instagram and 4 million on TikTok. He says across all platforms he has about 10 million people that are following him. He's also the host of the Bryce Crawford podcast, and he joins us now to discuss. So, Bryce, love having you on, because the fact that you're here, that you have these millions of followers and a podcast that's so successful on the topic of religion, which is essentially all you talk about, shows that there is a massive desire out there in young people. So tell me why you think young men are seeking faith more than young women. I think intuitively people would have thought it would have been women, because that's what it's been traditionally.
Yeah, I think, people in general are on a search for truth, right? Everyone's on a quest for love. And I think young men typically associate that fulfillment of truth through just logic, right? Understanding. And so people believe in Jesus for both experiential evidence and logical evidence, reason, what evidence points to Jesus being the truth. And because of sin and phones, Gen Z has been able to get sin in such large amounts in such short amount of time. And so it's kind of shown Gen Z very quickly, oh, wow, this stuff isn't fulfilling us, the substances, the addictions, whatever it may be. So when they find Jesus and they see the evidence and it fulfills their heart, I think that's why young men are going, wow, we really need him.
And what do Christians need to do to reach out to women then? I know you're talking to them too.
Yeah, I think men need to set the example. They need to continue being firm, being strong, courageous, being bold. I
think that's what we fail to realize. Like, bro, we the ones who gotta set the foundation. Like, us as men, we the leaders. You know what I'm saying? The women gon' naturally abide by the rules once men get their act together. Like, if we living a religious life and really, you know what I'm saying, walking in faith, that's the women gonna naturally get attached to that, because we the leaders, you know what I'm saying? We here to lead the women, you know what I'm saying? They cling to us. You feel me? Not saying that women can't have leadership abilities, but we are the providers, in a sense. Like, we the one who allow them to have kids, you know what I'm saying? It start with us, so we gotta be that example. You feel me?
You're saying the men will bring the women?
I think in a way, yes. I think, we need to lead by example. That's why I love Jesus. He doesn't just tell us how to live our life. He showed us how to live our life. He set the example. The Bible says he didn't come to be served, but to serve, right? And so if we can follow in Jesus' footsteps and show young women what it means to have joy, peace, patience, self-control when leading them, and things like that, then that shows young women that, A, the thing that we're being led by is valuable and good, but B, it shows them that, wow, maybe this thing is the truth if we can see that the men are being satisfied as well.
I first saw a video of yours several years ago, and you were talking to someone who is, had purple hair and pierced, and you go to people and you just engage them and start talking about Jesus, and they're sort of at first a little bit you know, like, who are you? And their guards up, and then you're so sincere in your faith that they start to be genuinely curious. There's another part of you that's very interesting. You're 22 years old. You're married. I have two kids. I have 9 kids, but my 2 oldest kids got married.
Damn, girl, relax.
22 as well, and both of them now have children. This is a new trend happening. What have you learned about your faith by getting married? And maybe talk to me. You just said earlier about how, you know, men can lead women to the faith. Talk to me about how that's all playing out in your faith life, your marriage.
When I watched my wife walk down the aisle, it gave me a full revelation of what it looks like for Christ being the bridegroom waiting on his bride. And I was like, wow, this is such a pure love, and how there's nothing on there's no competition, there's no nothing. It's just my job as a husband is to lay my life down for my wife.
That's fire. Y'all plan on getting married? Y'all comment below. If you made it this far in the video, you plan on getting married. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I'm thinking heavy about getting married, but it just genuinely gotta be the right person. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't overcame my lust, so I'm not chasing after buns no more, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like now I'm setting myself up to really find the one, you know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to go as long as she want, you know what I'm saying, to not do anything. Like, I'm not worrying about none of that. I just genuinely want a girl to, you know, who I could spend the rest of my life with, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been focused on recently. I ain't gonna lie. So I ain't gonna lie. I plan on getting married. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to it now. At first, I wasn't really open to it. I kind of was like, man, I ain't never getting married. Blah blah blah. And then now, as I'm maturing, you know what I'm saying, and I overcame my lust. Now I'm more open to it now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm emotionally feeling this as I'm watching my wife down the aisle, knowing that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to serve her and love her, even if it costs me my life, makes me think that's exactly what Christ has done for me. And so that love that God has shown me in that analogy or metaphor that you see in Scripture has motivated me to continue to be a better husband, a better leader, a better friend, a better son, all of the above, just by that revelation. So I think young people need to get married young and have a lot of kids. Are you seeing
that as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are doing it.
Tons of my friends have been getting engaged, married, and there's this popular trend. And commitment is cool, and I think it's incredible. Mm-hmm. Jesus has shown us deep commitment, and so it's a beautiful display and reflection of Christ's love for us when we commit ourselves to one another.
Well, every time I have an interview, I learn something, and what I've learned from you is the way you described the sin and the phone, and how the absolute mega dose of sin that is coming via the phone to this generation. And it's so heartening to hear.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. Moms was right, bro. It is these goddamn phones, bro. These phones is leading so many people down the wrong path, because a lot of people are easily like influenced. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are just followers. Like, they just see what other people doing and just follow what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, this generation lack a lot of leadership. You know what I'm saying? People just want to follow what their favorite celebrity doing. They just don't have a mind of their own. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, that's kind of how phones just like ruin society. But I don't even really blame the phones, because at the end of the day, it's the people who live in these degenerate lifestyles, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really blame social media exactly for the problems. I blame the people who push these narratives on social media in which it became a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Is to find something meaningful and eternal. Yeah. And you are a blessing to this world, and I really want to thank you for coming on. I'm really, I think you're doing really God's work.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
All right.
W Bryce, man. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to him, bro. I'm happy we got an influencer who really trying to change the world. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know we live in a demonic world, so we need a little bit of God in every situation. But y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this, man. Who y'all think follow religion more, boys or girls? Comment below.